Mugi wa no Luffy desu, or Monkey D. Luffy, is practically the face of Shonen, let's be real. Besides Goku, Luffy right now is the face of Shonen. And Luffy is practically one of the biggest faces in the current One Piece world, alright? Because many people, even in his crew, would have died, been enslaved, or overall wouldn't achieve their dreams without Luffy. But now that I think about it more, there's a couple of arcs where Luffy is not really as important as he usually is. So I wanted to cover that today and just rank how useless Luffy was in every single arc in One Piece. What's good, YouTube? My name is tankōbon, and if you guys want to see more ranking how useless a character is series, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the Tactical Meat Munchers, and let's dive in. Now, before we start, I'm going to lay down some ground rules on Luffy's influence and how that would impact his score throughout each and every arc. Throughout each arc, we'll be grading how well Luffy progresses towards his goal of becoming the Pirate King. So any side quest or anything that's just really filler, I'm going to be honest, that's going to be ranked in the useless arc. And don't worry, we will not be including filler in this. But at the same time, there's a lot of arcs in One Piece where it feels like Luffy's doing some filler side quests for no reason. That's not going to help him in the end game. You feel me? Starting off with the East Blue Saga, I'll put Luffy in the he's aight category. Now, don't get me wrong, Luffy getting influenced by Shanks to become a pirate and eventually become the Pirate King and get a strong crew like him eventually did lead up to one of the most biggest events in One Piece history. However, now that I think about it more, the rest of this arc, Luffy didn't really do too much to help him. Like, of course, he did befriend Kobe, and of course, everyone needs their rivals, like Roger needed Garp, but at the same time, he didn't really need that to become Pirate King. He just needed that to get stronger, you feel me? Other than that, him finding Zoro, I guess, was another cool thing, because, like, they do need the right-hand man. And Zoro, as of right now, that guy is deadly. That guy, he's nice with it. So overall, I would give this a solid, he's aight tier, B tier, technically. Next up is the Orange Town arc, and here, I'll just have to put Luffy in useless. Now, don't get me wrong, Luffy saving the town from Buggy's reign and, his pirates, that's a good thing, but at the same time, there's pirates everywhere in One Piece. Him defeating Buggy, especially Buggy, who is super weak, it didn't amount to much. In fact, I don't even think that arc was really necessary. I'm gonna be real. It didn't add anything. It just introduced us to Buggy, who right now, he's showing a lot more promise than we thought he would. But at the same time, Buggy is like, come on, it's Buggy. Let's be real though. Next up is the Syrup Village arc, and again, sadly, I will have to put Luffy in useless. Now, I love this arc. A lot of people hate it, but I personally love it. At the end of the day, Usopp, you're not showing a lot of promise right now. Of course, with Usopp did save Luffy's life, twice. So I'm not saying that he's useless, but I'm saying, as of right now, especially when coming to Pirate King, this arc wasn't all that. It wasn't all that. It didn't break much. Luffy's impact in just defeating, I don't even know his name, alright? The dude that turns invisible and slashes you, it was useless. I'm gonna be real. It was just completely useless. Hey guys, just a quick little intervention here, but I do in fact stream every single Friday from 5 or 6 p.m. EST. There, I just play random horror games, video games, or I just react to YouTube videos in general. If you guys want to stop by and just have some fun, make sure to just, lock in and save the date specifically for that, because I promise you, it is a great time. I also do upload some of the videos to my gaming channel, tag.mpv, which is in my bio, so make sure to check it there. Alright, with that enough said, back to the video. Next up is the Baratier arc, and here I will have to put Luffy at Pirate King tier. I know that's a big gap from putting him in useless, but y'all gotta hear me out. This arc might be one of Luffy's best showings, even though he didn't really do much, but he did do a lot, let's be real. Starting off with him recruiting Sanji, alright? He's definitely a must. Unlike Zoro, where Zoro is extremely loyal and everything, Sanji is literally Luffy's he's a must for Luffy. Every single time Luffy gets up, thinks he wants to eat. He needs to eat. That is a function for Luffy. And not a lot of people can sustain Luffy's like appetite, all right? Unless you're Vegapunk, which is like an agenda beat now. But before Vegapunk, no one could satisfy Luffy like the way Sanji could, which sounds crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Also, Luffy bringing Zoro straight to Mihawk, the person that he's been wanting to fight for a while, not only strengthened Zoro's resolve to become the world's strongest swordsman, but it strengthened Luffy's resolve to become the Pirate King. Like, this arc is so foundationally perfect. I can't, especially for Luffy, like, his impact here. From just this arc, you will see how far it goes if you caught up to One Piece, if you know what I'm saying. Next up is Arlong Park, and here I will have to put Luffy in the hard carry category. Now, we all know that Luffy finally recruiting Nami to the crew is essential because a navigator of her skill is essential for basically cruising the Grand Line, unless if you're Kid, because I don't... You Kid, he has no all of his navigators are trash. I don't know how he made it to the New World, but that's besides the point, all right? Nami is essential, all right? The only reason, though, why I won't put Luffy and him defeating Arlong in the Pirate King tier is mainly because, unlike Mihawk of the last arc, Arlong, even though his presence is felt even in further arcs like Fishman Island, it's not that essential like Mihawk. And I should have put this lower, but my love for this arc is too great that I'll just put it at hard carry. Now, I didn't say this before, but I will be skipping some arcs, like, for example, Logtown, where they kind of have something going, but they don't really do too much. Like, they just kind of meet their villains, but they don't really do anything after that. So I will be skipping Logtown and going straight to Alabasta. Arcs like that will be skipped, by the way, just for the people in the comments. Now, for the Alabasta arc, I will have to put Luffy in the Pirate King tier. There is absolutely no way that I can't put him in the Pirate King tier. Luffy defeating Crocodile means so much, not only for the rest of the series, but Alabasta specifically, because he was there in search for Pluton. Alright? Pluton is an end game accessory doomsday device. We don't even know what it is, truthfully. But as of right now, we know that anyone who had one of these ancient machines ruled the world, alright? So, Luffy getting rid of him was amazing. At least for him to be away from Alabasta. Right now, he's fighting other people. That's for other arcs, but oh my god. That itself is amazing. But then we get to Luffy not only freeing Princess Vivi, right? But we also get her later on. She becomes massively important as well. And her diplomatic importance does help Luffy in the long run. It really does. And to put a cherry on top, they got Robin, her beautiful self, as a nice little bonus. And Robin's the only person that could read the poneglyphs. You know, the things that help you find the One Piece. The One Piece, like Pirate King tier easily. Come on now. Now, I low-key forgot which arc Chopper was introduced in, but whatever Chopper's introduced in, put him in Pirate King tier, alright? Like, come on now. Waffle's not really that important, but Luffy, every single arc has a grave injury, bro. Like, before, I guess, Gear 5, like, he could not heal himself. He needed Chopper badly. So, Chopper was... He's necessary, yeah. Now, I'll be combining Jaya and Skypiea into one arc, considering that they basically connect. Well, they might as well be one arc, considering how well they connect to each other and the callbacks from both arcs. But overall, I will have to put Luffy. Funnily enough, this arc, it's not necessarily of the enemies that Luffy fights. Rather, it's him just doing what Luffy does best, adventuring, all right? Luffy adventuring to places like Jaya and meeting Blackbeard really just... that really cemented that both of their ideals, despite being the exact same thing, they have vastly different meanings and vastly different ways on how to achieve their own dreams, which does present a clash that forever arcs continuing on will continue to clash one another, whether that be physically or mentally. And you can see in Skypiea that Luffy and Roger just parallel each other here, saying, oh yeah, it's in the Sky Islands, which to everyone else, they seem pretty stupid. However, to them, they know that they're full on right. So you could tell that these two arcs, they really do mean a lot. However, the villains being Bellamy and Eno, it isn't really much. At least to the end game of One Piece. Because unless if Eno straight up drops the moon on the earth and everyone is like feeling the impact, Right now, his impact on the story is basically none. Like, nobody even knows he exists. So I can't really say that does anything. And I don't even have to talk about Bellamy, all right? Like, that dude he's beyond fraud. He's like ultra fodder. Now, like I said before, I'll be combining Water 7 and Enies Lobby, since these two arcs basically just connect into one. And I gotta say here, Pirate King level again, bro. Pirate King level again for my glorious King Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy here defeating Lucci is massive, and I'm talking massive for the rest of the story. Considering what Lucci represents, like, he represents the government pretty well. Honestly, I would say he represents the government better than Imu, alright? Imu, despite being the top of the world and being like a secret shadow agent and all that, Lucci, bro, he took cannonballs specifically to his back in the symbol of the government. Like, there's no one that rides for the government harder than Lucci. And with Luffy telling Usopp to burn down the government's flag, basically saying, yeah, we're going to war with the government over our friend Robin, it really, for the rest of the series, it basically cemented that these guys will forever stand against the government no matter what. Even though they're pirates, because we do see some pirates, they do stand with the government. However, Luffy and his gang they will never abide by that. And it really, really does impact them for the rest of the series. Luffy fighting Lucci, or specifically Aokiji, taught Luffy that, you know, there's a lot of obstacles that he can't beat with just his base brute strength, and he'll have to find other ways to protect his friends, being Gear 2. And Gear 2 being foundational for Luffy getting stronger in every single other arc. Come on. Pirate King level for this arc immediately. Like, this is basically Luffy's Super Saiyan, bro. He needs this. Yes, I'll be skipping Thriller Bark. That arc is trash. I don't want to hear it. Now, after this is the Sabaody Archipelago arc, and here, easily, Pirate King level, like, guaranteed. Are you kidding me? As I said before, Luffy's progress in these arcs is how I'm gonna grade him in each of these arcs. And Luffy here, making absolutely no progress by getting stomped by both Kizaru, Kuma, and Kuma's clones, really shows Luffy that he's not strong enough yet. Him and his crew are not strong enough, because if they even think of going back, they will die. Guaranteed. Now, of course, later in the series, we do realize that Kuma smacking away Luffy's friends was actually to save them, so that they don't die at Kizaru's hands, and so that they could get strong enough for the new world. Because they didn't even know hockey. Next one is the Amazon Lily arc, and here he's going to these Eiites here. Now, let's review this arc. Think about it like this. Luffy defeating Bo Hancock's sisters, learning more about Fisher Tiger, and ultimately getting the news of Ace's execution and going to the execution. How much of that helped them become the Pirate King? Alright, absolutely none. Next up is Impel Down, and here I'm going to have to put Luffy in the He's Eight tier. Again! Now, Luffy in this arc, searching for Ace, right? Because he wants to save Ace from his execution. However, with the amount of massive floors and dangerous floors that Impel Down, he meets a bunch of new criminals while also risking his life on multiple occasions and also almost dying on multiple occasions. I don't think that was worth it, right? However, there is one major thing that was important, and that was him meeting Jinbei. Because no matter what anyone thinks, no matter what anybody slanders about Jinbei, he is actually essential. Both physically, because he's a fisherman, no racist stuff, alright? I'm not a celestial dragon, but fishermen, bro, in the water, they're hella good. They're hella fast. Okay, that Loki sounds racist. Never mind. But mentally as well, too. He was the one that brought Luffy, well, in the future arc, he was the one that brought Luffy back to his senses. So if Luffy never met Jinbei, I'm gonna be honest, he would have been looking like a bum, like a homeless street rat. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this next arc, my rating, might make y'all hate me, but y'all gotta understand and trust the process. What I mean to say, that this arc, Marineford, I'm sorry to say it, but Luffy was a side character. And when I mean side character, I'm talking in a derogatory sense. Because not only did Luffy come all this way to Marineford, risked his life before he even stepped foot there, extended his lifespan, all that, but as soon as he got to Marineford, he wasn't doing much. Even though he was beating up giants, beating up fodder, once it got to the real hitters like Mihawk, like Akainu, like Aokiji, like he couldn't do a thing. He was like a fly. And they just kept swatting him back to back to back to back. And even though he did make it to Ace, and even though he did free him, Ace literally he died to a Yo Daddy joke, bro. Like, this dude is a bum. Ultimately, Ace killed himself right there. He ruined the entire plan. So for Luffy right there, it essentially, everything was useless. All his effort gone. He sacrificed his life, wasted his lifespan, and ultimately almost died again. Literally, he had like from Kainu, he has like a whole scar of just burnt lava on his chest. He almost died with his brother over trying to save his brother. Did this help him become the Pirate King? Absolutely not. Did he gain a power-up in Marineford? Absolutely not. What did he gain? More pain, more torture. However, at the end of the day, that pain and torture allowed him to grow. So that's the only reason that I won't put Luffy in useless. Otherwise, he will be down to useless. But for now, he's a side character. Trust me, y'all, I really want to keep this going, but this video is getting a little bit too long, and I kind of need to upload it because I've been delaying it for a minute now. But yeah, this is my video of ranking how useless Luffy is in every single One Piece arc. And if you guys want to see more of ranking how useless Luffy is part 2, or just more of the ranking how useless a character is series, make sure to get that like button, subscribe if you're new, comment for the algorithm, join the Tactical Meat Munchers. I'm Tacked Up before you, and I'll see you guys next time.